quitting social media again. This is something that I've been contemplating for probably the past 2 or 3 weeks. Things in my heart and in my soul that kind of triggered that there was a problem, and it always harkens back to social media and how much I consume it. Sometimes we just need to check ourselves and check things in our life that maybe need to be completely cut off. Wanted to get these started, but one of the things that alerts me to needing to take a break from social media is that there's like this angst in my heart. It comes out more in my thought life. I found myself just like hyper fixated on so many little things. Comparison was a huge thing. It really started getting bad around Christmas time. I remember just feeling down and depressed, and my mind was just a very unhealthy place. Mentally, I was doing horrible. I knew that something needed to change, and I wasn't sure exactly what that would look like. So I started praying about the potential of quitting social media again. I quit social media for 2 years between the year 2021 and 2023, and it completely changed my life. Since coming back, I have definitely set very strict boundaries with social media. I take breaks pretty regularly, so I'm not a stranger to taking breaks from social media. Because of how bad I had gotten and things had gotten and my mind had gotten, I really needed to contemplate taking a bigger step. The biggest things coming to my heart was, do I need to quit social media again? And then also, do I need to quit YouTube? I've never gotten to a point where I have given YouTube over to the Lord completely. I'm going to talk more about this in just a second. I'm going to put this stuff away. I actually need to do a toy rotation, and then I'll kind of share more of my thoughts as we go, because Elliot's taking a nap, so I really do need to utilize this time, and he desperately needs a toy rotation. Let's rotate his toys, and then I'll continue to share my thoughts of quitting YouTube, quitting social media. I haven't done a toy rotation since Christmas, and I think that's because this newest Love Every Play kit, it had this toy in it and a few other things. Elliot has liked it so much that I haven't swapped it out because he's been enjoying it, and usually he gets bored with toys after a while. That's why I rotate them. Literally, this play kit has been the one he has loved the most out of any play kits. I believe it's called the Babbler. He was obsessed with it, but I do need to rotate. I feel a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of toys because Nick's mom sent a little package with all of Nick's old stuffed animals, and so we've had these all throughout the house. There's a ton more still, and I'm like, there's just a little bit too many toys out at once. It's also way harder for me to clean up at night and during his naps. I always do a cleanup during his naps and at nighttime before bed, and there's just been way too many toys to clean up. It's overwhelmed me. I need to do a toy rotation bad. This toy was a huge hit. He loved opening up the doors. Just so much fun. So unique and creative. He'll be sad that it's not in rotation. Hopefully the next time I bring it back in, he'll be really excited. Anyways, he hasn't had some of these other Love Every toys in a while. This one has like little pegs that he can pull out, so I think he'll like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look through to see what toys I can replace, ones that he might want to play with and hasn't played with for a while. That's what we're going with. That should be good. I need to organize this now, but I just don't really feel like doing that right now. Okay, when I was kind of at my lowest, I was talking to Nick about it, and one of the things I was saying was, I feel like God is kind of asking me to hold my hands open with the things that he has given me, creating content specifically. And I've never gotten to a point where I have been willing to think about giving it up. completely, like not taking a break, but actually quitting for good. And I think God really wanted me to get to that point where I said, okay, Lord, if you want me to quit everything, then I will follow that. I will do that. I just want to be following what the Lord wants for me. That was my heart, and that was my prayer, that the Lord would just make it clear if that's what he wanted for me. I didn't feel that that's what he was asking me to do. At this point, he could still ask me to do that. I haven't felt like he's given me super clear instructions on like what I need to do other than just following him. In everything I do, make it about him. I have been spending way more time with the Lord. I've been reading way more, praying way more, and I took major steps back from social media. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the specifics that I have taken and boundaries that I've put in place. For me, Instagram has been the one that I waste the most time on. I really contemplated quitting Instagram because I'm not as attached to Instagram as I am to YouTube, because YouTube's my main source of creating content goes on YouTube. One thing that I've done since quitting before is just be super selective on who I'm following, and I still am. I go through my following pretty frequently to make sure that I'm still following people I want to follow, and that does help me spend less time on the app. Now, I've taken an even more drastic boundary with that, and that is just to not really consume much of anything on Instagram, which resulted in me just not really watching people's stories anymore. I spend the most minimum amount of time that I possibly can on there. I will check notifications, check messages, and get off. Like, I don't consume content, or I'm trying not to consume hardly any content, maybe just a couple people here and there. I don't feel like my heart is in a healthy enough place to consume other people's lives. I need to be more focused on living my own life. With that being said, I did mute a lot of people. There's this weird stigma that I feel like if I mute someone, it means I don't like them. That's not what I'm saying at all. If I've muted people, which I've muted almost all of the people I follow, if you're one of my friends, it's not because I don't like you, and it's not because I don't want to see what you're posting. It's because my heart is unhealthy, and right now I can't see that stuff. It's not healthy for me. And I think we have to respect that in someone else's life, that if they're not doing well and they need to take steps to put up a boundary, not wanting to see your life. Like, if my life, hey, here we go. If my life ever causes you to compare your life with mine, or to have angst in your heart, if my life or my content is ever causing you to struggle, then unfollow me. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And that's what I'm doing. I'm basically saying it's not you, it's me, because that's where I'm at. I am at a point where my heart cannot be consuming other people's lives anymore. I do want to still post videos on Instagram, because here's the thing that I'm also working through with the Lord. I have not felt him ask me to stop creating content, but I have felt him ask me to shift my content. And so that's what I'm in the process of doing, is shifting my content, really just shifting my life in general to be about him and not about me. Not only do I know that it's going to benefit me, I also feel like it's going to be better content that encourages you guys. I want the things that I create and the things that I make to be focused on the Lord, to encourage those who watch it. I want my videos to have substance to them. I want them to have purpose. And I haven't felt that that's been the way that my videos have been recently. My heart has not been in a good place, and therefore anything that I've created out of a heart that's not doing well has not been grounded or inspired by the Holy Spirit, and it's felt like that. So I also have something else. I'm gonna move into this room because I feel like the lighting is getting a little bit weird in the office. But another thing that I wanted to mention was, and I've mentioned this in the past when I've taken breaks, is that my mind needs a break from other people's ideas. I need to be able to have the space and the freedom to think for myself, and too much consumption of other people's thoughts and ideas and their content really affects my ability to think original thoughts. And I don't want to be a clone or a copy of anyone else, because that's not what God's intended us to be. In the past couple months, I've completely lost my ability to think unique and new ideas, especially when it concerns content, because I was consuming so many other people's content ideas that it was getting jumbled with what I actually wanted to do myself. I don't want to follow trends. I don't want to follow someone else's path. I want them to follow their path so that I can follow mine. I know for myself that right now to follow my path is to not look at anybody else's. That's something that the Lord kind of put heavily on my heart, was that I was looking to so many other people's paths, wondering if that's the path that I should be on, instead of just looking to the Lord and asking Him, what do you want for me? Inspire my content, inspire my words, inspire my mind to think original thoughts again. It was just really disheartening because I kind of lost myself in the process, and not just lost myself, but I felt like I lost my ability to create things that were unique to my calling. I don't feel like God is calling me right now to quit everything. I feel like He's calling me to transform it. Now, the ironic thing is that I myself am not going to be consuming content, yet I'm creating it for you to consume. So what I wanted to say was, if you're in a season where I was at and where I'm kind of currently struggling through and getting out of, if you're not in a healthy place mentally, and if you're not in a healthy place spiritually to be consuming someone else's content or lives, then I encourage you that you don't have to watch any of my stuff. You don't have to watch any of my content, because I care more about your soul than the fact that you watch my video. If anything that I ever post is causing you angst in your heart, stop watching my stuff. I genuinely, that's not what you're supposed to say as a YouTuber, because it's all about getting views and growing your following. I want to focus, and I feel like God's really calling me to focus on who's watching my videos and to put something out that really cares for their soul. So if this is something that you need to hear, if you need to stop watching my content, I'm giving you the go ahead, the nudge to do it. I know it seems really strange, but do it because you need it. Do it because the Lord wants more of you. I'm wanting to be the vessel to point you to Him. If my life is ever taking you away from what the Lord wants for you, you have got to stop watching my channel. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit embarrassing to have to admit that I am struggling. It's like going to an AA meeting that my heart isn't well, and I have to admit that. And it's not fun to admit that I haven't been doing well. It's not fun to admit that watching my other friends' lives affects me negatively because of how I'm not in a good place. So I don't love admitting that, but I know that I need to, because it shows that I'm human, and it shows that I need God and His grace. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I just wanna encourage you that if you need to take those breaks from social media, and if you need to step back, or if you need to distance yourself from consuming certain content, that do it for you. I think that if we just focus on our path, focus on where God is leading us, we won't go astray, and we won't get hung up on things that could potentially damage our soul, like excessive social media consumption. I guess this whole year and my whole life, I want to hold my YouTube channel, my social media, with open hands to the Lord, that if He were to take it away at any time, that I would be okay with that. I don't want to have such a tight grip on any of it that if He was asking me to give it up, that I wouldn't be willing to. So if there's something even in your life that you're feeling like you're holding on to too tightly, I just encourage you to try letting it go. Try giving it to the Lord and seeing what He truly wants for you. Usually the things that we're holding on to so tightly are damaging us. Let's have a year of open hands and seeing what the Lord does. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any thoughts in the comments below, and I love you guys. I really do, and I will see you in the next video.